Here's the problem in this family, and I'm just going to give it out straight. Oh my fucking god, I'm so pissed right now. The problem is in this family is that this child is not being given a fucking choice. They keep saying that they want him to make an informed decision on masculinity, but he's not given an opportunity to explore his masculinity. He is told from a very young age that masculinity is a bad thing. He is told that, oh, you should wear pink. Oh, you shouldn't be violent. You shouldn't do what those other boys do. No, but you need to make an informed decision. Well, here's the thing. There are two things that's going to happen. One of two things that will happen to this child. Either A, he's going to emulate the environment that he's a part of. And if his family, if his sister tells him that masculinity is a bad thing, then he's going to believe it. And he's going to end up hating himself whenever he has any masculine desires. He's going to be very troubled growing up because he's going to have difficulty understanding who he is. Or the second thing that's going to happen is that he's going to rebel against his family, but not in a good way. He's going to be the exact thing that they were trying to protect him from, the thing that they perceived in their mind as being what it is. That he's going to be horrible to people. He's going to be horrible to women. Hell, he might become a rapist because you didn't properly prepare him for what masculinity was. So he didn't have a proper opportunity to develop his masculinity. So when he decides to become masculine, he goes all in and has no filter whatsoever. This is fucking child abuse. It's this kind of stuff that I'm so sick of with a feminist movement, with toxic masculinity. This is toxic femininity. That's what this is. You're trying to tell him that the very thing that makes him a boy is wrong. Now, if he makes the decision to give up his masculinity, that's his choice. But he doesn't get that choice. In many instances of these kind of families, it's like, oh, my child wants to become a girl. It's his choice. He's fucking 9 years old. He can't make that choice. It's because you have toxic parents pushing this ideology bullshit onto their children and trying to convince them that this is what they want, and then convincing the world that your child can make this decision. If you left the child to his own devices, he could properly develop. Now, you could still say, hey, there are two sides to this. There's femininity, masculinity, and make him aware of both to give him an informed decision on what he should do. Instead of telling him that the aspect of himself that makes him who he is wrong, and he should feel shame and guilt for that, and he's going to be a very fucked up person who's probably going to need therapy for the rest of his life because he never properly developed how to be masculine.
I absolutely agree. And, you know, I mean, even just like small things such as the pink shirt, you know, like, I mean, pink doesn't have to be a girl color, but couldn't you at least prepare him with the thing like, well, people are going to make fun of you for this because it's not seen as masculine. But don't worry, you're still masculine, even though, I mean, they didn't even try, really, honestly. Masculinity is being suppressed and femininity is being praised recently. So, you know, I'm really not surprised. And I'm sure that a lot of women are worse than this with their own children. Like that one woman we talked about who, you know, tried to make her boy a girl or whatever the fuck.
And this is a very common thing that we're seeing. This is what I'm fighting against. You know, we can't strip away what makes people who they are. I mean, this woman is asking about her own identity when it comes to dating people, but somehow her being what she is okay, but her little kid brother is not allowed to be who he is. And, you know, maybe he grows up to be gay. Maybe he grows up, you know, when given the opportunity to be masculine, he decides that he wants to be a girl. But give him that choice. Don't strip him of that choice. Don't tell him, oh, well, we want to give you an informed decision on being masculine, but you're not allowed to be masculine.
Yeah.
Because that's not a choice. That's torture.
And it kind of reminds me of this one kid I knew who, I mean, they basically raised him as a girl. And I mean, the entire family was really, really feminist. The woman was a self-proclaimed lesbian, even though she was married. And the daughter, the first feminist that I encountered, you know, was also very, very, very anti-male. So this boy, I mean, there's a point, you know, like you can raise your child how you think is fit, you know, but then there's the thing where, like, if you try so hard to make him into what you want, he's going to turn into a bad person. And, you know, either way. And this kid just acted like the sassiest bitch I've ever met. Like, girl or boy, you're a bitch. Like, he would just be like, oh, excuse me. And like, ma. He was only like 12 years old, and he was already bossing people around, acting like he was, you know, a fucking god, and pretty much just being the sassy black bitch of the drama club. It was like, come on, calm the fuck down. Like, we don't care if you're gay. We don't care if you want to be a girl. Just don't be a bitch.
And more than likely, he was emulating the environment he was in. That his self-proclaimed lesbian mom, who was married to a man, was probably very sassy and probably very bitchy, and probably also his older sister as well. That's the environment he was witnessing, so he was emulating that because he believed that that was the proper way to act.
Yeah. And, you know, even my little brother, you know, my siblings, I worry about them, and I worry about, you know, how they're doing socially in school. I don't want them to ever get hurt. I'm going to shove myself into their life and tell them how to do things, because that's how you grow up. And, you know, even like sometimes I think, well, you know, my mom, she raised me well, but she raised me, caused me, you know, some problems. So I worry about them for that. But I also know that they're their own people. They can, you know, decide things for themselves, and they can, you know, figure out their own lives. So, you know, I try to be like supportive, and that's, you know, that's all I should do, really. I shouldn't try to change them or anything.
Yeah, but, you know, if, you know, I ever met your kid brother, I'd probably tell him, don't date women in school. It's not worth it. I mean, half the crap that I hear about, I mean, there was that kid in Arizona who had 13 girls come forward and say that he raped all 13 girls between the years of 7th grade and 11th grade. And they came together in 11th grade to report it, and it was later discovered they were all lying about it. You know, and his hormones are going to really control his behavior, but the thing I would tell any boy growing up is stay away from girls as much as possible, because feminists are training girls these days to be cunts. I mean, girls were always cunts when I was growing up, but at least it was like if I asked a girl out, I wouldn't have to be reported to the principal for sexually harassing her. I'd just be told no in my face and then be embarrassed by it. You know,
Mhm.
that's school, you know, but now it's just a fucking train wreck.
Yeah. Yeah, my little brother, he's had like a little girlfriend, but then you know, it's not really serious. They're just he's only like, I believe he is 11. I'm bad at keeping track of ages. But yeah, he's, you know, he's just having fun. He doesn't, I don't think he's dating anyone right now, and I wouldn't really call it dating anyways because he's so young. But you know, now my sister's 14 and starting to get into dating and all that, and I worry about her too. But I also know that, you know, she's got to do some growing up, you know. So, you know, those experiences can definitely help out, you know, with growing as a person.